And a very good evening to you all. Welcome, members of the public. Thank you for turning out on this rather dreary, dark, drizzly night. Good to see you. So welcome to our December full council meeting. Just remind you all, we will be having a small glass of tea wine and a sausage roll afterwards. And my good wife's made some of her cheese straws.
That's the only reason they're here.
So first item on the agenda, please, item number 1, which is apologies for absence.
Apologies for Mr. Bailey.
Item number 2, the minutes, to receive the minutes of the council meeting held on the 21st of November 2024 and to confirm as a correct record. No doubt you've all studiously studied those. If you are happy and you have no questions, may I have a proposal for a second one? Proposed by Councillor Mitchell, seconded by Councillor Chapman. All in favour? Thank you. Excuse me, coffee now and then. If it gets into a fit, that will take over. Drink the gin. Okay. Item number 3, excuse me. Item number 3 is the Mayor's report. You have in front of you the Mayor's reports for December. Before I go on to the top of the tree that happened this week, which you all know about, I have made one omission here, which is late night shopping. I'm sorry about that. Late night shopping and the judge of the windows. And I'd like to acknowledge Councillor Kerry's help in doing what she did there. It was really well done. This year was excellent. Well done.
Who was?
Excuse me, I will die.
I make false promises.
Yeah. Also for this week, of course, what was the true, absolute, superb event for Brighton Sea, and that was a visit from Her Royal Highness to the museum, and all kudos to the museum. I mean, they did so well what they did there. So I'd like to thank the museum.
I'd like to congratulate the Princess for actually giving us our bollocks. We could probably can. After 3 years, she did it in a couple of minutes.
Don't forget the painting of the thing. Yep. Item 4, declarations of global pecuniary interests. You have to read that out.
For declaration of disclosable pecuniary interests, members are reminded of the requirement to disclose any interest in relation to the items on the agenda when these are discussed.
Thank you. You may be sympathetic. I had to leave the choir concert today after the coffee fit as well. That was embarrassing. So that's item 4. Item 5 is a report by County Councillor Goggin to receive a written report from County Council Alan Goggin. Alan, I think we have a chair for you here.
Oh, lovely, thank you.
Well, I've got to say short report. We did have a bet earlier on, didn't we? Oh, we've got his old select.
Good evening, everybody. Wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Looking forward to whatever 2025 brings. Just to add my own views, and I think that speaks for a lot of the town. Yesterday's event was absolutely fantastic. It put us forward in a wonderful light as a town. I can tell you now, for the people on the inside who aren't from the town, UK, who've supported the museum tremendously, particularly Suburban, they were most impressed. And I got Princess Anne to talk about rugby. That's
Rugby.
Princess Anne to talk about rugby. Her son, who played under 21 for Scotland, when he was at university, was at Exeter Rugby Club, and my son was at Exeter Rugby Club at the same time. So we had a parent chat, and I just loved every minute of it. But real praise should go to Margaret Stone and her team. Bloody fantastic team. If she doesn't get Lady of the Year, we'll not be amazed. Right, so, and also late night shopping. I thought that was fantastic.
I'll
It
say
really-
thank you for all four of us.
Well, that's every ship needs a captain, needs a crew, and needs a captain. So first of all, you've had my notes. Anything anybody wants to draw attention to before I go into my other bits? Anything in particular?
Councillor?
Just any news on?
No. I promise you, the minute there is.
I wasn't going to talk about the gravel sites.
Sorry?
I wasn't going to talk about the gravel sites.
I don't
was just
believe
saying-
that.
No, I wasn't.
Oh, right, okay.
I was going to talk about that. The big map of devolution.
Ah, well, I think I put down here, I put down number 1, the government white paper being issued December the 18th, important boundary changes in my Brockton division. Yeah.
I saw, well, I've read that Kevin Bentley is putting out how enthusiastic he is to be a leader in this, and I just wondered, is there a view as to how Essex is going to get chopped up?
I can give you, is that okay?
Yeah,
It's not
yeah.
actually, it is a Brighton, it will affect you all.
It will affect Brighton.
Okay.
Although we haven't seen the white paper yet. So.
Yes, okay. So please accept that what I'm hearing is and of course Essex isn't Essex at all. Essex County Council isn't all of Essex because it doesn't take into account Southend, it doesn't take it down Thurrock. So Essex is now being called Greater Essex, so that's the whole of Essex. The general concept is they want something bigger than Southend as a unitary, certainly bigger than Thurrock as a unitary, but not as big as Essex County Council, because it's felt that there's somewhere in the middle that will do that. The discussion point between at Essex is that we recommend that there are 5 unitaries. The other 4 are irrelevant to this council for the minute. The number one thing that I've been told is that the local town, village, parish council will have no changes because this part of the system works well. Tendring will go, Essex will go. Probably. And the current situation, looking at the Essex as a bit, where we are is Tendring. So the obvious group is Tendring, Colchester, Braintree, and possibly Uttlesford. The problem with Uttlesford is they're the runt of the pack because nobody wants them because they are in massive debt. So at the moment it looks as if that is how it would look.
I was told that they're looking for unitaries around the $500,000.
Yeah.
Does that add up to $500,000?
That's how it would, and we can do it. So we can do it. It can be done with or without Uttlesford. So
Okay.
And where will that likely be?
the thing to say, and it doesn't really matter what side politically you are, but the current government are very keen on making decisions and pushing them through. So my view is that they will be in force in 2 years' time. So to get them in force in 2 years' time, we've got a bit of pre-negotiation. There is discussion. I think Graham and Jane mentioned it last time. That there is a period of time where there will be those on the way out shadowed by those on the way in. So that there's rather than sort of come down one day all out or all in. So I think that could be 2026. But this is all speculation, I promise you.
The other thing I heard was that the county-wide elections, are they still going ahead or are they being deferred?
Everybody's planning as if they are.
They are? Okay.
Yes. Everybody's planning as if they are.
So you've heard it here first, but there is
White paper.
a white paper to
I
come
do
on.
have one here.
Yeah, we do. And the famous age of the man getting off the aeroplane saying, I've got a signature.
Yes.
That didn't go too well, did it? Thanks, Alan. Does any member of the council like to ask Alan any more?
No, that's most interesting. Thank you.
Okay. Right, well in that case, if I just go into the important things, which you've asked me a question on my point number one, thank you very much, and two. I attended the stroke unit. It happens to be a Christmas lunch, but they earmarked me as a grant application meeting. I'm happy to support those. There was a CIF meeting this morning, and for discussion, the Lido was applying for a grant. You're going to have to wait a week to get the notes in writing. On my item number 6, lots of discussion about roadworks. So I asked for a meeting with the highways regarding, as I've said in the last 4 years, and I've got now a list of all the works that have been carried out by the highways, and I've sent it to Alresford, Thornton and Great Bentley, and I'm going to send the one to here and St Osyth next week. I forgot to do it, so sorry. So I will make sure that the clerk has the list of sites as they are, and whether you choose to reprint them or not is up to you. But Brightlingsea came top of the tree with over 256 bits and pieces in the last 3.5 years. And there's some duplication, as I've said all along. There's a huge amount of duplication, massive amount. I think the thing I mentioned time and time again is there was a manhole cover at Thorrington that was causing all sorts of trouble. It's one manhole cover in one place, and it had 8 reports. So that's quite typical of what goes on in the list, but also it's typical of what goes on when they're done. There weren't 8 repairs carried out at the bollard at Thorrington. Oh.
It's gone up because it's Christmas. It's 30 quid now, Malcolm.
Bring the firing squad out.
No, it's about devolution.
Okay. So the same thing when you talk about numbers on the list that aren't yet done. The numbers that come off the list are also slightly different because, as I say, that one of the repairs was the one at Thorrington. There weren't 8 repairs, but 8 have come off. There's been, I put a bit on the back of my thing about the members' initiative. It's been a fair success around the area. We've done particularly well. Since the last meeting, there's been some bollards replaced at Victoria Place, there's been some white lines at Victoria Place, there's been some bollards at Station Road, all cut has been done. And I got a note tonight, which I don't even remember, but there's something done today in Upper Park Road. I don't actually know what that is, to be truthful. That was the note I got. And I think, Mr. Chairman, if that's
You have forgotten some new street signs that have gone up.
some what?
New street signs. Ophir Road has new street signs,
Ah, I didn't
and they're looking really good. And so does not Dean Street, Nelson Street, I think.
If their maintenance were they replacement of those of the signs?
These are brand spanking new.
Okay, well in that case,
And I do apologise, you also haven't forgotten about the sign that you and I fixed. Which we won't mention because of health and safety.
you can't. Somebody fixed, some unknown kind person
Yes.
fixed a sign. Unknown person, same as the unknown person who painted the street light. Unknown person.
Yeah. There you are. Councillor Johnson, you'd like to say something?
Yes, I'd just like to ask County Council got the projected completion date for Belfield Avenue still stands,
Yes.
and whether the projected cost still stands.
I haven't. I've had plenty of updates, as you can imagine, once a week. I really go down there. It's on track. We've been very lucky with the weather. I think that's fair to say. There hasn't been a time when I've had to stop because of the weather. The budget just seems to be a number that I don't know. It's going to get done, whatever the cost.
Good.
I never get it's only 70% that's done before Christmas, and then the second half, which is the other bit down the other end, will be done in.
It seems to bear around my original statement that the 750,000 was a very conservative figure.
Someone put me on the ball on it, as you always are.
Not bad for window cleaner.
Oh,
Machine talks
Excuse me,
right, you know, young man.
I've got to declare an interest in this because it was my window, my office.
What
Good,
can I say?
wonderful. So, that's great, thanks Alan. Are you going to stay here or are you going back to the
Well, so now I've
uncomfortable?
seen sense and stayed with the same
We're
knowledge.
very pleased that you may have 2 sostrals. What I meant was, are you going to rejoin the public or are you going to stay the same?
I'll reach on the public. The first meeting I've attended.
How will we know what ones have got the poison and then the 2 that have, you know,
I can show, I will show you.
Thank you anyway. And as I said, happy Christmas and
Yeah, thank you very much.
Alan, I do apologise. I've omitted to ask any of the members of the public if they would have any questions. But as you're not going to send those, if we could save that until we ask for the general question.
Oh.
I'm just in case.
I'll be making notes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, our next item on the agenda is to receive updates from district councillors. May I start with you, please, Councillor Street?
Such more. Thank you. Yeah, it's been quite a busy couple of weeks actually. The webinar, which was for an AI presentation, and Julie sat in there, and we tried to see if there was any common ground. As it happened as well, we had some tractor boys turned up at the full council outside when they were down against the government inheritance tax.
Oh,
And then there was some other things which also came up.
did I get anything for you?
Few spades. And then Task and Finish Groups got a resource and overview committee. We looked at TDC assets and also an IT overview as well, and that actually had the AI in that as well. So that's a very interesting discussion, which I'm sure will come forward. And then we've got audit meeting, which was quite intensive, because as you can see there, the accounts haven't been audited for the last 4 years. It's nothing to do with what's that got to do with tendering. It was a national shortage of auditors, but now we're up to date, and we should be up to date for next year. So that was quite interesting. And the other thing was, obviously we talked about budgets there as well. And it's very interesting on the budgets. What they're already saying is, as well as putting the budget in, they have to put in a savings plan as well with the budget. So it's a double-edged sword on one hand, and what we're going to say from that. On the other hand, said we've got to make savings. And then on the back of my report, you'll see there this is for information, and obviously using the D word, the white paper is due at any time. This is from a consultant. I think there's quite a few of these through. I think it's very. I think the last paragraph there is, the leadership role. The question isn't whether change is coming; it's whether you're ready. Are you equipping your organisation for the tools and the partnerships to stay ahead of the curve? And obviously that's been mentioned before. If you go back to 2022, comment was made. The landscape of local government is changing. There was a town council. We have to meet the challenges which will occur with those challenges. To enhance the town council performance, you should explore the opportunities that will emerge. And I think that was said 3 years ago. So it's come to fruition. So that's
Lovely.
Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Graham. Interesting times. I'll invite questions after Councillor Chapman's report, if that's okay, if anybody has any. So our next one will be a report from Councillor Chapman. Jane will be introducing within that report a vote from this council for an item that she can explain.
My list is quite short, it just says full council. But I've actually been working quite hard over the last 10 days with particularly the housing department tendering on repairs and faults to some of their council houses. And I'd just like to put on record all credit to the housing department. We had a bit of an emergency, an elderly person didn't have any heating or hot water. He phoned it in, or Julie emailed it, and then he phoned it in and was told they couldn't get anybody to until the Monday. This was on the Thursday. Friday morning, I spoke to the housing department. They got somebody out to at 8:30 on the Saturday morning under the emergency. All credit to tendering on that part. As most of you know, planning fees are going to double. We've been notified today, and the increase for Essex is 37%. So, and we're being told we've got to use Greenbelt. I sit on the local planning committee, so that will be an interesting meeting coming up. And the thing that we do need to vote on was the Battersea Haven Leisure. They are allowed on into their units, caravans, lodges, whatever, for 10 consecutive days over Christmas, and we've got the agreement. They go in on the 23rd of December and come out on the 2nd of January. 2nd of January is a Thursday. That means they have to come out for 24 hours because they're allowed back in every weekend from 12 o'clock on the Friday. I contacted tendering this morning to ask how they felt. They have given permission for them to stay till the following Monday, but we as a town council have to agree it.
Right.
So I'd like to propose that we tell them they can stay until the 6th, I think it is, it works over, and not come out for 24 hours.
Okay, and Ray was second. Okay, so it's more of a ratification this really. So all those in favour, please show of hands. Any against? There we go, that's carried. Unanimous. Is that your report? Would any members of council like to talk to our district councillors with a question? Councillor Howard.
Yeah, Jane, about the housing. I mean, they're saying about using the green belt. Are there many empty houses, in the tendering area? Because they're saying that instead of building on the green belt, they should be, making the empty houses available.
They are actually doing.
Not just here, I mean,
No, they're actually doing a survey on that at the moment. So I don't know the numbers, but it is being looked at.
I think, just to add to that, I think one of the things is trying to put the systems together. So there are, as you say, there are empty houses that wouldn't necessarily be in the right place at the right time to report.
Yeah.
So I know they are looking at the computer. We've done the IT bit as well. So they are looking at the IT systems to consolidate it all into
they're doing quite a big piece of work around that.
Yeah, that's a very pertinent question. Thank you. Councillor
Graham, I just wondered, with the removal of the glass recycling co-op, what plans are there, if any, to provide some glass recycling for the town now that's gone?
None at the moment, because what will happen, and Jane will probably say, because she's on the waste management side, but in the new contract,
Glass will be collected from your doorsteps in the new contract, but I
Is that likely to come in though, Jane?
2026 is glass, is it? And more plastic in 2025. But I can tell you that the YMCA will be taking extra glass.
Right. An extra unit?
Yeah.
And
Well, they're hoping to have an extra two, because what's happening is they've got a paper and cardboard one there, that should be on your doorstep, so they're going to remove that. The same with textiles is now collected from your doorstep, so that will go and they will fill it with more glass.
And to avoid the situation that we had at the co-op with everything just being dumped and the overspill, is there any plans afoot to make the collection more frequent, so it's empty more
We
frequent?
ring up, the YMCA just rings up and says it's full, and within, normally on the same day, but if not, certainly the next day, and they're there and it's emptied.
But they just done it beside it.
I think it's a fair bet to say that YMCA is better managed.
Right, okay.
I think the system is as well, because a big query is that how often are they emptied? And they said, well, they don't actually publicise it when they're actually going to be empty, because if people get to know, then they will dump even more stuff. Because if they think on a Monday, it's going to be collected on a Tuesday, and suddenly they're on a Monday, they're going to chuck it in there. So
That's the Soviet answer.
The YMCA also has CCTV cameras, and we have publicised cars and people on social media who don't.
Councillor
Good.
Again, the 37% increase is based on what figure? Because there's been so many figures. Is it the original 700 or the 1,047?
Well, I think that works out to the 37%. Up to that one for 1,400 and odd.
Okay.
Is it
I think it's 1,047 before.
47, yeah, but is it going to one?
yeah, that was the. Yeah, I can't think of the number.
No, I'm sorry, I've got the numbers on the top of my head, but I will get them for you.
Perhaps you can put afterwards.
Yeah.
We've got Councillor Johnson next.
I was just going to say that it was running YMCA, but we already said that.
Are you okay with that,
I'm
Councillor Howard?
happy, yeah.
Councillor
Oh,
Howard.
and then one at
Hang on. Councillor Howard.
Sorry, just getting back to recycling again. It's such a pity with the lozenge area. But what are they going to do with that? Because that's got a clothing one there. Will that go? Will the whole? I mean, really and truthfully, it'd be better if the whole thing went, because it's just a dumping ground like that.
Eventually, when the whole new contract
When we
is
use it
in,
for school.
for 2 years, within the next 2 years, there won't be a recycling bin in town because everything will go from doorstep.
Because that make a good spot to make a little parking area for the school.
Well, we have had a strategic report on things like that, which we can reintroduce again. Chris, would you like to say, come on your secondary? Do you want to say something else?
No, only that there's another bottle bank at the sailing club.
There is,
Yeah.
there is. That gets filled pretty
It's
quick.
Chris that fills it.
Yeah. We're all going to be watching our consumption of wine, aren't we? I have a feeling we're all going to be buying boxes of wine rather than bottles.
Can I just, a bit tongue in cheek, where Graham said we had the farmers, or the tractor going, it was quite nice sitting amongst 40 farmers at the meeting.
It's a bit greedy, Jane.
Well, that's what I thought.
Great, that's good. Okay, right, we'll move on now, Ray, on to item 7, which are the teams' reports. And we'll receive the reports and recommendation from the teams, and we'll kick off first with the Facility and Community Assets team. Councillor Morgan, is there anything you'd like to weed out from that?
There's
short manner.
4 recommendations on the thing, which include the strategic meeting. Which is like to say on the last one, the town survey, and thanks to Matt and Julie for the help on that, because it's been really good. It is a public awareness to allow the public to give sort of written responses back to this town's council about our areas of responsibility specifically, asking for their written responses and what can be done and maybe what they'd like to see done, and any safety issues they see. And I would ask the member to widely circulate this. It will start off at the True Festival this weekend. There's, I think it's 150 applications.
It's already up the church now.
It's already up there, so they'll be up. So, but do take it home and take 10-15 minutes writing it down and bring it to Julie in the office here, because we do want to find out what the public feel about our town and have an opportunity when we talk about the strategic meeting. We've got their reflections of what they'd like to see.
Yeah. So it's a really good initiative, that. So yes, there's copies of the survey underneath our Christmas tree, isn't there? So you can already start doing that, and then it's going to be led out into the greater thing. It's bigger than that. I'll come back to you, and they've asked for it. Just got Councillor Mitchell.
I just wanted to ask if we could, if it's now in circulation, could we have it as a comms team to
Yes.
circulate on?
Good thinking. The PDF for the comms team.
Yes.
We were going to put it on the website tomorrow,
Okay, excellent.
so that if it runs out over the weekend, we have put a note in there near the website to
Lovely.
have it.
Okay. Councillor Cook.
I'd like the plans to get it as an online version as well.
Yes.
So we'll
That would
need
be so much easier.
we'll need to design that and make
Yeah.
that, won't we?
Yes.
Probably really good.
So if you can send me a copy of the final version, then I'll take care
There's
of it.
no time end to
And
it.
that's the other question. That's the other thing I was going to say. We're not having a closing
No,
date as
because
such
we want
just yet. because
Everybody's, we want everyone's opinion and we
We've got the
value
31st
everybody's
of
opinion.
January, haven't we? Yeah.
Yes, so we've got plenty of time to get it out there. But there isn't really an end date.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
Just as I did make a comment, I've said a comment to Rick that I've told the Neighbourhood Plan Committee that's what we're doing,
Yes, good.
and so they were quite interested to see if there was any common ground,
Yes.
because obviously they had done some of the things you said.
Yes.
I don't know, so that'd be interesting to
To
compare.
marry up.
Yeah, to compare.
Yeah.
In the end. So.
Yeah, because they didn't have their meeting the other night.
No, that
But,
was council, yeah.
But perhaps you could take it to them.
I've already given a copy.
Okay,
Dave
good.
Sharman a copy,
Good,
so
good.
she's
We will be looking for volunteers in the summer to
Post
promenade.
Well,
I
yeah.
mean, it's not just for residents. This is all for
Yes,
visitors as
it's
well.
on everyone's opinion.
Okay. Thanks very much.
You might need good recommendations.
Oh yes, we will. Okay, well, we'll vote on that. So, so may I have a proposer, please, and a seconder for the recommendations within the FCA?
Have a propose.
Can I just ask? Sorry, can I just ask? Where are we with the Harbour Commissioner's lease? I know that was
Okay,
gonna be
as you
signed.
notice here, we said we were waiting to hear if they're going to be signing it. We understood, we thought it might happen today, but at the moment we haven't had that confirmation, so we are hopeful that it will be done.
You will hear second. These guys are here first. You will hear second.
Yes.
We have a proposer, Rick. A seconder, please. Councillor Steady. All those in favour of the recommendations? Any against? Those are carried. Next, before the committee is the ENT, the Carbon Transport Team, chaired by Councillor Howard. Jean, is there anything on there that you'd like to read out, please?
Not really, is it? Well, I don't know, is it Reverend Judith Gibb? Is she Reverend? Yeah,
Reverend.
She's going to do an eco showcase in the church in February, and she wants people to. It's just to highlight, you know, the things that are going on around town environmentally. So that's in February. And the other one was that people are going around the War Memorial the wrong way. Councillor Chapman nearly had a head-on collision a little while ago. So we've asked Alan, who was at the meeting, if we can get a no right turn coming down Ladysmith, a no right turn sign there, so that you don't. And also Terry made a good suggestion. He said about painting it actually on the road, no entry, in massive letters, so that it stops it. But it's getting quite a, yeah.
I think we've all witnessed it, haven't we?
Well, yeah, I haven't, but I mean, I've witnessed it on the video. Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah. I suppose you've been up there. You're two in a good position to see it, aren't you? Yeah.
I have to say that your committee now is in a unique position because the county councillor attends it now. So it's.
Well, I don't know if it's going to carry on attending, but it's been.
I think we should
really
try
good.
to keep it.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Alan. Yeah.
It's also nice to see in here that finance has allocated some money for.
Oh yeah, sorry, that's what I was
little animals.
Yes, for the small wildlife
Yeah.
warning
Which is
signs,
good,
but
so
not
we'll
until
be-
next year's budget.
No, that's okay. We've been trying to get
Yeah.
that.
John, sorry, also an update on the speed camera, which
Yes.
Matt has got online. That has now arrived. So I think that you found a spot for it, I believe.
Would you like to say anything on that?
And yeah, also the what they're called, the survey.
Stephen Bond.
Yeah, strips. Hopefully, we're going to go. we're waiting for an invoice, and then once we've got the invoice, apparently we can go ahead and get them. So that will be enough survey.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is just to clarify any confusion. We're doing 2 speed surveys in the area. One is by Essex County Council, and the other one is by what we've loosely termed the Belgique system.
It was the Dutch.
It was the Dutch, but they've done a runner to Germany. But it's now called the Belgique system, and we're trialling that, and hopefully we'll be able to lobby Essex County Council to say, look how good this is. Because at the moment, Essex County Council don't recognise the data from that. At the moment. Is that okay?
No, it'll be a good
Yeah.
backup,
Yeah.
or indication of what's going on there.
So I think we've only really got one recommendation in here, Jean. Oh no, 2, sorry. You've got a recommendation about Council to inquire about the possibility of right turn, which I guess is okay, and Council Barry to look into the parking measures in the unrestricted areas. So we'll vote.
I don't know, did we have to vote anything on the knowledge of signs?
No, I think we've
I
both
think
done that.
that's-
We've
We've already done it, haven't we?
just
Yeah.
taken it up now.
So if we can have a proposal and seconded, please, on the recommendations 3 and T. Proposal, Kerry, seconded by Rick. All in favour? Okay, those recommendations are carried. Ooh. Oh, very nice. Welfare residents report with do you need a winter coat? This is Councillor Chapman.
If you need it, take one. If you want to join in, leave one. We've actually handed out 42 coats.
Really?
And I have to say, at the moment, I'm really short of coats.
Oh, yeah.
I've actually only got 3 adult coats at the moment.
What are you needing more
Men, women. I've got some children's ones still, but yeah, we've actually got 4 went yesterday. I think yesterday was such a cold day.
Do we just bring them in?
Yeah, just bring them in and we're hanging them on hangers at the
Yeah,
moment
I've
on
seen
the
that, I've seen
handrails.
that, yeah.
I can't put the rest out, but yeah, I've actually only got 2 or 3 adult coats there.
Joan, not that I want to take away money from the hospice shop, but are the hospice shop bringing their coats across?
No,
No? Okay.
we get some from the church. If they hang around, you know, we're finding they're not going, then they're going to Trinity Church at Clacton, the Methodist church, which work with the homeless,
Right.
do the sandwiches every lunchtime, and we're circulating them with them, but we're all really short of coats at the
So there you are. Again, you've heard it here first. If you've got a spare coat, please take another Smiles. I do apologise.
I was just going to say, when you've got loads of coats back in the kind of stock, could you ask Tony to send over this digitally to me?
Oh, yes, put it on screens.
We could do that.
That's Julie's.
Did I say
Thanks to
you-
Julie,
what?
that one.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, brilliant. If you could send it over to me, then when Jane can let me know when you've got loads of coats again.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, sorry. The next informal committee is the communications and tourism. There's nothing from tourism, but I have to say the communications team's been quite busy this month. Well done. You know, they've reacted quite quickly to the various statements that we've needed to put out. I don't think you have a report to say, do you?
Not really. Other than we'll put out the one about the speed camera and everything. And post it on the web.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll just edit it a bit for the press release.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Just that should be live, kind of like next week. So not time.
Well, I don't think we should be too obvious when we're doing it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, nothing else.
Thank you very much. Okay, our next item then is finance agenda in 2 parts. First is to receive and approve the minutes of the finance meeting held on 10th of December 2024 and then confirm the recommendations therein. You have the minutes in front of you and the recommendations. And no doubt you've all studiously studied these.
Can I just make an observation to just thinking after the meetings, it was a very good meeting, by the way, it was very good. On the budgets and so on, I do think we should also be analysing costs, because we started to talk about what we need in precepts and what we're going to need to spend, but what we didn't do is take any time, and standard practice through every business is to analyse your own costs to see whether there are any savings there. I do think it's part of, we can't just keep putting prices up, we should be looking at seeing how we can be more efficient in the costs that we're incurring to the public. And I think we should have time at the finance next meeting to just analyse the costs and just see if there's any efficiencies.
Good question. I'm sure the chairman will tell you how to.
Yeah, I did speak to David about it.
Yeah, no,
I'm sure he will support that.
and might be just worth reminding everybody that the actual deadline for setting the 25-26 budget is this time next month, effectively. It's what we all agreed, including the precept at the January council meeting. So while we made good progress, there's still a fair bit to do. But certainly I support your I think the other thing, just like changing the subject, it might be worth noting that we've agreed to hold the boat park prices at the current level at least for this coming year.
Good. Does any councillor wish to put any questions to the chairman on the recommendations? In that case, may I have a proposer for the recommendations, Dave? And a seconder, Councillor Pedley. All those in favour? Any against? Those recommendations are approved. Thanks, Dave. I have to say that our finance committee is becoming a very strong committee now. It's a grown-up committee, and it's very professional.
Yes, it's really good.
Part B on the finance agenda is to confirm the recommendation of those members examining the accounts for the current period, which is in the hands of Councillor Court and Councillor Bailey.
Councillor Pavley and I have examined the accounts for November 2024 and under the delegated authority to the Finance Committee confirm that 18 payments in the sum of £8,214.13 have been authorised and paid, and the statements of balances on the following accounts be accepted. Current account 7055, 11,874.39. Business premium account 9433, 485.95. Business premium account 8295, 80,000 exactly. CCLA Public Sector Deposit Fund 1,000 exactly. Instant Access account 0373, 85208.00. Current T2 account 0360, 9356.80. Making a total on all accounts of £187,925.14. Income for November was 9532.43. Expenditure for November 2024 was 31362.11. Income to date, 1st of April to 30th of November, 357,820.92. Expenditure to date, 1st of April to 30th of November, 256,854.26. And employee payments paid for the month of November 2024 were £21,424.78.
Thanks very much. Again, your proposal.
Yeah, our proposal.
And I guess Councillor Bailey seconded. All in favour? Any against? Thanks very much.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Could you just remind everybody we're supposed to get the Barclays debit card?
Oh, are we? Oh, could you tell?
Just mentioning that.
If you remember, we couldn't get a post office
That's
to
right.
a current account anymore.
Correct.
We can do that so that Tracy had access to cash
rather than using their own resources.
But I did find out the post office will accept Barclays bank card, so we need Tracy to get a Barclays bank debit card so she can get money out of the post office that way.
Do we need to vote on that separately, Tracy? Or
No,
is it,
done with finance.
would you like one of my coffee
No,
sweets? Anybody else like any coffee sweets? Got enough? It's good step. The whole shop now. Yeah, okay, thanks very much. Okay. Let's go now then to any councillor wish to ask Dave anything? You okay? No, good. Let's go to item 8 then. 9, sorry. Planning. So at the minutes of the planning meeting held on 26th of November, there was none on 10th of December, and the planning decisions of Tenbury District Council.
Well, I don't really have anything to add to
This is good news.
You've really received, other than what Councillor Chapman has said earlier about the increase in payments, which is quite staggering, double them for an application, and the planning numbers. And the other final thing to say is that we received as a council, or I received it for the council, a note from a recent applicant thanking us for supporting their, which was for Gavin and Joe Hockley's 83 Colm Road. I might have got the number wrong, but anyway, it's the old plumber site they're turning into a house.
Oh, we don't get often that.
No, and they said that they intend to make it so it's an asset to the town.
Oh, wait there. Great. Do we need to vote on that? Okay. So you're. Oh.
What happened to the Sainsbury's licence?
It went forward.
It just went forward. We didn't have to vote on that or anything.
Well, we did a round robin on the email.
Sorry,
yeah.
I think
The only thing on the email I did, well, I noted it to Tracy. I'm not sure. I don't know what you sent out, but Sainsbury's actually want less than the co-op wanted, so I didn't think it was going to.
It just wasn't on here anyway. So
no, well, it will go. It will go through again on the next one.
Proposed by Councillor Bailey, seconded by Councillor Chapman. All in favour? Yeah, great. Done. So. Our next item on the agenda is to introduce a new freedom of information policy for this council. And it's to receive an update of freedom of information policy. Council, of course, is going to talk about it. And before Council does talk about it, I'd like to tell you this is based on Essex County Council. It's a new policy for us. It's to modernise our policy and to give greater transparency for those that are making freedom of information requests.
Yes, this is really all about standardising what we're doing and standardising the information that's being requested of this council so that we can provide better answers. So, I know the public wouldn't have seen the emails that we've been kind of distributing with the draft documents on, but obviously everyone's got copies of it in front of them. So this shouldn't be kind of new news for anyone sitting around this table, although I do acknowledge that you've only had sight of this for about 3 working days. So really it was, I know people have been putting their comments out on it, and we've made a couple of changes in terms of instigating an appeals process on the vexatious policy, which we don't have to do because we run our own vexatious policy. It's very different from the FOI. The FOI essentially is run by the ICO, so they handle appeals on that. We handle appeals on our own policy, which is the vexatious one. It's not even something that Tenbury would get involved with. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know what we want to do. Do we want to see if anyone's got any further comments, or do we just want to move and...
I think it would be nice to ask, I can see some hands going up already, it would be nice to ask councillors for comments. After we've taken comments and hopefully voted on it, I think we would quite like to see this policy be adopted. A copy of it will go to our auditor for his his things. Now, I didn't see, I think it was, you had your hand.
I just wondered about the appeals process where it mentioned that the appeal could be looked at by the mayor. Is there a way, in the same way that the freedom of information side of things has an appeals process and it's dealt with outside, is there any way, I get it's our policy, but is there any way for somebody to look at it from outside? Because otherwise it's a little bit like us, not investigating ourselves, but doing our own, we've sort of made the decision and then we're looking at the appeal.
I get that, but we don't even have to have an appeals.
Okay.
So just by offering an appeals, we're doing more than what about 95% of town and parish councils do on this stuff. So as part of writing these, I've spent quite a lot of time looking at loads and loads and loads of different parish and town council vexation cases, and it is a vanishingly small amount. I think I only saw 2 that have gotten appeals, be it midnight. But it is our policy, and we could say mayor, deputy mayor, or nominated individual.
Yeah. But I mean, the whole thing comes under the IMO anyway.
No.
Oh, it doesn't.
No.
Okay.
Vexatious doesn't.
Oh,
No, it is purely a Brighton City Town Council thing.
Yeah. So, and you're right, Matt. I've looked at vexatious policies throughout Essex. There's no appeal. It's just not.
Okay, no, that's fine.
I think we just.
I just wondered if there was an option for someone else to look at it, but if there's nobody else doing it, there doesn't appear to be a rest.
I think you've got to be quite difficult to be able to put vexatious.
There is one other thing as well that we could look at. I know we're not allowed, once we discuss something and vote on something, our standing orders say we're not allowed to talk about it or just vote on it for another 6 months.
Yeah.
There's nothing to say this could be version 1 that we're happy with, and then we see how it actually is used in real life over the next 6 months, and we review it. Maybe in 6 months' time or in advance of the council.
And all of our policies are constantly being reviewed. I mean, you've seen many of our standing orders and code of conduct policies have been reviewed. So we could do that. If you don't mind, I've got some queued up over there. I've got Councillor Stanley first.
Yeah, so my understanding is, if anybody is... Well, firstly, I don't think we've used the vexatious policy route anyway. But if somebody puts in a vexation, and we think it's vexatious, because they're asking a question over and over and we say you're being vexatious, then I would guess they would be able to go to the information for the FOI complaint. Because they've put the original...
There is an overlap. If they're doing it off the back of a freedom of information request, they can. But not all questions to this council are FOI requests. So if they are saying I'm doing this because of the FOI Act of 1984, whenever it was, then their avenue of appeal is external to the ICO. If it's just I'm unhappy that I want to know the budgets of Brassseed on Bayard Rec, and they're asking that time and time and time again, that's not an FOI. That becomes potentially a vexatious kind of policy, and that's where this comes in, and there is then no right of appeal to the ICO. It's similar but different. If they're using FOI, for which we would have a specific template now as well, which is something we didn't have before, which made it quite difficult, I think, for the staff members, especially. I think this just really tightens it up and really sets the goalposts out for everyone.
Councillor Joseph.
Yeah, I've not seen this before tonight, so I can't make any comment really except to say that nothing you can take away my rights under law of the land.
No, it's not trying to do that at all.
I'm just saying you can't. I said end of.
Yeah, and I'm just saying we're not trying to.
Well, that remains to be seen.
Okay, Councillor Howe.
Sorry?
Councillor Howe.
Thank you. I was off for a couple of meetings last month. So, and I know you've done a lot of work on this map, but what part of the council asked you to do it?
So this has been instigated by the executive.
Which executive?
Of the council.
What is that?
The mayor, the deputy mayor, the clerk.
So that is who's instigated this? The mayor, the deputy mayor, and the clerk have instigated this?
Yeah.
Well, it didn't come to the fellow councillors?
No, because if you start bringing it to the council before you've got that there, you create...
No, but I mean, to actually ask to do it, because Matt's put a lot of work into this, and obviously he knows it inside out. We only got it Monday. Well, I only got it Monday. I don't know about anybody else.
So,
and
I understand.
I haven't read... Can I just finish
I understand what you're saying,
Can I just
Councillor
finish what I'm saying,
But the
John?
first thing is that
Can I finish?
Can I just finish
yes,
what I'm saying?
you can. But so the first thing is
You just
we
keep
haven't.
interrupting me.
Thank you. So we haven't reinvented the wheel here. What Councillor Court has done
I
is
haven't
he's
said
looked
that,
at.
John. I
Okay.
have not said that you've reinvented the wheel.
Okay.
I'm just asking, did the full council ask Matt to do this? That's all I'm asking. But it didn't. It was an executive committee, which I don't understand. I thought we was an open... You're asking to be an open council, but that doesn't seem very open to me. And can I just say, we only got this Monday, and we've been to loads of meetings this week. I haven't had a chance to read this, so I will be abstaining tonight.
That's okay.
And
That's all right.
I've got a lot of questions I need to ask about it, but I don't want to ask. I want to ask outside this council.
That Councillor Howard is your right to say that. Would you like to?
Yeah, I would just say it can't be much more open than kind of what we're trying to do tonight. I'm not trying to kind of say you're wrong or anything, but we are literally we have put this in front of everyone, asked their opinion. And I get that the timing perhaps isn't as long as what some people would like.
But it's only 4 people that's asked you to do it. There's 12 people in this council.
Yeah, but then I suppose the vote then is okay. Don't do it. That's down to this council then to vote on
Who
it.
says
So
it is if you've not given
Okay, I
people a
think we're
chance
probably
to...
explaining there. Councillor Chapman would like to say something.
I've got pick up a bit that you said. Look at it in 6 months' time. Yes. Under tendering, we review every single policy every year, and I sit and chair that committee that does that. So everything comes back before the full council. Going back a little bit, under the governance review, we were told to review all policies and bring all our policies up to date. And so, to me, bringing this back, I do agree, perhaps reading it from Monday to now is quite tight, but we were told to do that. We've got to bring them up to date. It's part of good governance, and this came up under our governance review, and we sat here last week picking up on governance.
You took that September you're talking about, Jane?
No,
our governance. I think I was mayor then. So we were told we've got to bring them all up to date. I'd like to take it a step further, not every 6 months, that every one of our policies, the same as we do at tendering, is reviewed every year. The law changes all the time. Employment law is a big changer, but things like this, and I'm going to go with Graham, that we've had a vexatious policy, we've duplicated tenderings, we have not used it.
Yeah.
And freedom of information, as you said, we haven't had, other than the time scale, I'm more than happy to support these applications. Everything I work on in tendering, so.
Okay, thank you, Jane. And I would like to go back and just pick up that point. Actually, I've completely forgotten about the fact that the governance report did say we were missing some things. And if you do have a read through them, which I know kind of 3 days isn't a long time, but equally it's kind of long enough, I think, but that's, I suppose, my own personal opinion. But there's a couple of things on here that we don't even have, which we're just completely missing, and one of them is the publication scheme. So we don't even have one of those. So we're completely missing that at the moment. We've never had any kind of guidelines on how to submit an FOI, which means anyone can just write in and say, I want to do an FOI on this, and it's not really an FOI kind of matter. This is really just,
We need guidelines.
Yeah, it's guidelines more than anything kind of draconian or sinister, for lack of a better word.
And it is a modernisation. I will get back to you. So, Councillor Perry.
Just pick up one thing. First of all, earlier in the year I wrote a policy that we all signed up to and agreed, which was actually a programme of reviewing our policies. I can't remember what the thing is called now, but it was a request from Trevor Brown that we did that. I did that, and in that, his recommendation, all of our policies have to be reviewed annually.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just so it's consistent. The other thing I just want to confirm, to go through the policy, the process. So, if the chair, mayor,
which one is this on? Which is this on?
well, it's more on how does it work.
Yeah,
So-
Which one, FOI or vexatious?
Vexatious.
Right.
So, if the mayor or the deputy mayor, or presumably the clerk, as I call that the executive, decides that there is a case to be answered as a person being vexatious, they bring it to the council, and then the council would debate it and then agree or disagree with that decision? That's how...
Also, the executive
That's
decision.
not how I read it.
Yeah, that's not, no, it's basically
Because
more...
it says under 5.2, if the council decides to clarify the complainant as habitual or vexatious. So by saying the council, I had assumed that it would come to the council.
That's why I asked about the three.
Yeah, so I'm taking that as the clerk and mayor talking on behalf of the council as chair of the council.
Right, well, I think
Doesn't
it should be
say
very, it doesn't say that. It should be 5.1 and 5.2. The disruptive behaviour continues after initial warning. The clerk or the RFO, in consultation with the chair or the vice chair, will prepare a report for the council. The council will then decide if the complainant should be treated as an habitual or vexatious.
Can I just add to that there is a great strength if it does come to council and it is debated by council and council decides, and I would have thought that was stronger.
Yeah.
No. So the original version
The original
was you guys, and then it was changed to be council on, I can't read up the copy now.
So
There was two versions. There was one where it was just going to be decided by the executive, and there was another one when it was going to be kind of almost ratified by the council, and that's the final version that you've got in front of you.
So it will go.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's fine.
that's
Sorry,
fine.
that's
Yeah.
sorry.
That is
Because I think there's a dilemma there. If the vexatious or habitual complaint is against one of the executive, you know, there's emotions involved there.
There is
also
emotion.
the strength of the council's decision.
But this was again all part of the whole thing about trying to get this out to
Yes.
everyone for their kind of input.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I've lost. I think you were first, Graham.
Yeah. Obviously, there is a bit of confusion. So, is there any need to vote on this tonight?
I doubt it.
Can
I
we
don't
put it
think so.
back
No,
to
we can,
January?
yes, we can come back and do
Gives
it.
everybody the
Yeah.
time.
Yes, you're right. We'll give extra time for that for it to come over. I think it's also a good thing for us to listen to our auditors' views as well. Not district, I don't think we need to. Jean, I think you were next.
Pass.
You'll pass. Councillor.
Well, I just want to make the comment that nothing we decide here can override the law in the land, especially in regard to freedom of information.
I don't disagree. I think we're doing it under the Act.
As long as that's understood.
No, this is literally making sure that we are doing things by the law of the land.
And trying to make it easier for people to put an FOI in. Because at the moment, you could just write on the back of a postcard, how much tea have you had? Oh, by the way, this is an FOI request.
As soon as you say the words FOI, it means certain things have to be done in the office which don't necessarily need to be done, because some things don't need to be an FOI. They can just be a question. Similarly, some questions should be FOIs, and therefore should unlock certain things in the office.
We're not trying to squash FOIs.
Yeah.
In fact, we welcome more FOIs. And you know, if we were asked how many tea bags we use a week, that would be a good FOI because we've never had that. I think that's
I have read the whole thing, and I think the FOI one is actually just implementing the law.
Yeah.
And I think we should actually pass that as soon as we possibly can. I don't know if it's contentious, the FOI one, with anybody. I'd rather get that one done.
Okay.
Because it is, technically we should have it anyway. and we are receiving FOIs, and I'd like to feel that we're doing it in the right way.
That's a good comment.
Where we can split the vexatious and whatever it
Into
is
January?
into another one so that more people have time to discuss it. But I just wonder if we should put the FOI one through.
So I guess, yeah, as I'm assuming I'm going to be proposing this, I'd be happy to accept that and say, yeah, I would like to, split it out, do the FOI and the publication scheme as well, because that's...
I don't think there's anything contentious in that, myself anyway.
No.
Jane?
Chris has just said a lot of it, FOI is illegal.
It's a legal thing.
And I've read through it, it mirrors tenderings very closely, as you say, it's part of Essex County. I've got no problems with that. The vexatious one, under tendering, we would sit on it, in my case, on HR, and vote on it. It would then possibly go to Cabinet for passing and then go to full council. So where you put in, I did read it, that you would do, it'd be discussed and it would come back to full council for a decision. So I'm more than happy with that way. That again mirrors what I work with already. But I'll second Chris's for the FOI one. That is a legal document. And
how does all other council feel about the FOI going through and the vexatious going through into another full council?
I would abstain.
You
understand.
Okay, so I think we've got a proposal.
And that's the FOI and the publication.
Yeah, so just to get it right, so what we're going to propose is the FOI is implemented as a updated policy document.
And also as part of it is to come up with an online form for people to do FOI requests, so it's easier for them to do it. Yeah. And also a standardised template, which I did send, didn't I? A standardised template on the responses that we will give back to the people that are asking on the FOIs. So out of those 3 documents, out of those 4 documents that I sent around, we're basically saying it's only the vexatious one that needs more work.
Yes. Okay. So, are we okay with that? So you're proposing, Councillor Porter's proposing.
I'm proposing, yes.
Sorry, what we
I'm proposing that we kind of take into effect the FOI policy, the FOI response template, and the publication scheme. And then I'll take away the vexatious policy. But I will say, please, have a read through it, and please come back with your honest and open questions, because that's how we kind of are going to get the right document.
Agreed.
I'll second that.
So Councillor Chapman said here, you've proposed it, and I reiterate, please come back to Matt. We've got time to do
And if
this.
you're not getting your emails,
just say.
Sort it.
Yeah, make a phone call.
We can fix that.
Yeah. But we're not trying to hide it.
I do not receive emails.
I've offered to help.
Okay, so Council.
To read them on that.
Hang on a minute.
We've got Councillor Judson have a written copy.
I think he's got it in front of him.
Has he
now.
got it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but has he only got it tonight?
Oh, is it? Well,
Yeah, take away that.
take
No,
that.
just saying if he doesn't get his emails, perhaps he could have a written copy.
Have you not got it? You've got one.
Yeah, but he didn't have it before. He's not actually.
First time I said it
and pick it up if an email
I'm
comes
not
out.
voting on that basis.
So if an email comes through that day, he can come in and get it.
I think that's been open to him all the time.
Yeah, but he's not getting his emails.
Nobody's
No.
asking.
Well, I've got to know something's been sent first.
Maybe just once a week come in and pick them up.
You've had proposals.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's move this on now. So we've had a proposal. We've had a seconder. Councillors that agree for the FOI for the proposal, freedom of information part of this updated policy. Please signify your agreement. Any against?
Well, I'm abstaining.
Well, are you against or abstaining?
I'm abstaining.
Okay, there's a big difference between abstaining and against.
What the difference
So,
is.
Councillor Howard is abstaining.
Okay, I only have 10. I need a little bit
Councillor
first.
Johnson?
I'm abstaining.
Councillor Johnson is abstaining.
I can't expect you to judge.
So we have the majority to
move.
move. We have the majority to move the FOI updated policy. Thank you. Right. And we're deferring the vexatious policy until January. In the meantime, if you could look at it and get back to Matt with any of your thoughts. I think Matt's already got a few thoughts. He might just be looking at anyway.
Yes, to a certain
To a
extent.
certain extent.
I would say it's probably not going to be the wisest thing to share it with other people.
Yeah.
Because you'll start getting lots of maybe uninformed feedback on it.
But again, you know, we are only copying, we're mimicking other councils. We're not creating this ourselves. It's a copy from other councils that we're taking a bit from there, a bit from there, a bit from there, which we feel is the right way to do things.
Matt, do you mean when you say don't share it, do you mean until it's all ratified?
Yeah, because I think
I mean, because I need to ask somebody about it outside the council.
that's your decision to make as an individual.
No, but why
It's not
can't it be seen? Because as you say, it's an open document.
Well, I just think you'll probably.
It's not been approved yet by council.
Well, that was just
be on the website tomorrow, and that is forms part of the paperwork.
Okay.
I just wondered.
Sorry,
Okay, so it's in the public.
What did you say?
It is in the paperwork.
Yeah.
Public have got copies tonight. It
Okay.
will go on the website tomorrow with the rest of the
So
paperwork.
it's out there.
It is a public document, it just hasn't been adopted yet.
I think what Councillor Cortis really saying is that, you know, it's there, it's a public document. Thank you.
No, I haven't quite.
You haven't quite answered. So it's there, it's out in the public domain, it's a public document, but we are very aware that there may be some feedback from this that may not be good feedback, it may not be pure feedback, it may not be sensible feedback. What we're saying is that we have taken the words from other different councils to create this document, and we're ready to change it if need be.
And I would just say, I just think it's better to have a debate in this room rather than
outside.
a public debate, which is what it could be, but you know, that'll be what it will
Because
be.
we are the council after all. You know,
Yeah.
so. Are we happy with that? Our wonderful public is sitting there with furrowed brows.
Yeah.
Okay, so thanks very much. That was item 10. Item 11, questions from our public.
You go, so, no, yeah, I haven't got a question. Oh, yes, sorry. She's put me in my place.
Super. It's not really a question, it's just to thank the council, all the staff, Julie, Tracy and Alan, for all the work you've done during the year.
All that kind of stuff. Thank you very much.
Mine's the same, really. And I'd like to disappoint them when Alan disappears from Essex County when it's swept away in this devolution. I won't have the best biscuits because they've got the best biscuits down here. And just two other points. I remember the 74 Local Government Act, which changed local government completely. And what's coming, as Ronald Reagan said, you ain't seen nothing yet. You ain't seen nothing yet, that's true.
You want to get enough feedback?
Mr. Sven.
I don't think I'm going to get any applause.
With regard to the council policy of being more open, communicating with the public, social media, and speaking with one voice, how do you think that's going? And when a councillor has an individual view, scoring political points on Facebook, should they put the word council in front of their name?
So I can answer a little bit on the first part. I think Councillor Court might want the second, and Councillor Paley might want the third. And when we've been putting out quite a few statements recently that's been trying to show what is our viewpoint for various subjects and conversations, which we haven't normally done. Normally we've sort of closed the doors and locked the doors and sort of hidden. But we are actually being proactive now, talking about what is happening. And that comes down to the comms team.
So now when we have a statement or anything like that, we've made a rule that there is no individuals mentioned in it. So the council says, or the council spokesman says, and I hope you've started to notice that, and we put that through out as a press release, and that goes to a list of people that have asked to be on our press release, which is obviously private. We see info, the Chronicle, and the, is it called the Gazette?
And the Gazette.
And the Gazette. So they're the three places. And all of those statements that go there are a statement from the Comms Department, and they always are, well, non-identifiable. It's the council saying that. Now, there are conversations, and there are more than one councillor having conversations on Facebook, and that's obviously, in the great scheme of things, they're allowed to do that as individuals as much as anybody. So I think what you've got to say is that we try as the comms team to put stuff out, and sometimes Matt contributes to that, sometimes Matt has a different view, but we put out on the main information channels the view of the council as a whole. And as I say, we do that as a council rather than as a person within the council.
Matt, would you like to add?
Yeah, I'll just say, obviously, you know, talking about me, and
Cat fits, wear it.
Say again?
If the cat fits, wear it. I didn't mention any individuals.
Well, I think I'm the only one that has council in front of their name.
I have.
Oh, you do as well?
I'm
okay.
guilty as well.
Yeah, that's why I said
Sorry.
there was more than one.
I think
Sorry,
Alan does
okay.
as well.
I mean, I'll just say, in my personal opinion, is I can't talk about anyone else, but I don't think I'm doing anything wrong. So, yeah, you know, I know people have kind of had the ump about it before, and I think I've been investigated before, and it was deemed that I'm not doing anything wrong.
And I think we do covet that freedom to have a voice and to say. It may be that your opinion of how that comes across may not be quite right, but you know, the freedom of speech is up there.
Can I answer the last
Yes.
part with one of the parts with how's it going? I can't really judge that because obviously I'm this side of the table, but recently I had a conversation with David Bryder who thought it was a great, I can't remember his words now, but anyway, a lot better than it had been, and it's still improving. And David and I have regular conversations. Sorry.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
He's working well.
I think at the last meeting he did say that, didn't he?
He did say at the last meeting when he was here. He also listens to the web things, which I mentioned to him when we were at the stroke group. I said, well, good, at least somebody listening. And he indicated that he knows there's about 5 or 6 people that listen. So it's working. It is working.
I was going to actually add that there's several people have said to me that they sit and watch the TV now on the box now. So I think it is getting out there, and the more widely people look at it, the better people understand how this council works.
Well, now Strictly's finishing, there'll be nothing else to watch.
Do you have any supplementary to do? Thank you very much. Does any member of the public have any questions for our esteemed county councillor who's sitting there patiently? Malcolm?
No, it's Christmas, we'll let him off.
You'll let Do you have any questions for our esteemed district councillors?
Oh, that's off as
well.
well.
We're there then.
Don't mention the cricket.
Don't mention no. We did once.
You got away with that.
You got away with that one. Right, our final item on the agenda is in Tracy's hands, is to receive the town clerk's report.
I'll sit this side, thank you.
It's going to blow up.
Just the one item tonight, we've had an inquiry from Russell's International Circus, who are looking for a 25 tour in Brighton Sea, 5th to the 11th of May. Now, they suggested the Bay Ard Recreation Ground. I've been liaising with the grounds manager who's not happy with that location, but are you happy for me to liaise with Terry over location, etc., checking dates, and we want to know vehicle sizes, etc., as to whether it would be a Hurst Green or a Western Pond event.
Lower part.
Or lower part. I don't know if that's going to be too wet in May. So,
Because football and cricket are all on.
Vehicles all day.
No, it won't happen on Bayard.
I was going to say, aren't we having some FA work on there?
I don't think it's been
We'll
approved.
probably try.
But if you're happy, I'll liaise with grounds manager and I'll let you know what's decided.
Terry's the man.
Claire said we are reviewing our pricing policy, particularly as regards external events.
And international.
And then
Does that mean they're paying you?
And circuses.
No. Thank you, that's it.
That's it. ladies and gentlemen, I wish you a very Merry Christmas and a peaceful one too. There's plenty of red and white wine. There's also some nibbles. Thanks very much for turning out on this call for night. Thank you very much.